My name is Elena Moore. I'm 32 years old, and until one quiet Thursday morning, I believed I was in a stable, adult relationship. That belief ended with a single notification. We need to talk. The message came from Ryan, my boyfriend of nearly 2 years. It arrived at 6:12 a.m., just as the sun was beginning to soften the edges of the city skyline outside our apartment window. We lived together in a warm, carefully curated two-bedroom unit, the kind of place you build a life in without realizing it's happening. My lease, my credit check, my name on every utility. But we split expenses evenly, or at least that was the theory. Ryan had moved in a year after me, bringing his camera gear, his restless ambition, and a quiet insistence that he was almost there, almost established, almost stable, almost ready. I was already ready. That evening, he waited until dinner was done, until the plates were cleared, until the apartment felt calm and safe enough for impact. "Elena," he began, folding his hands like he was preparing to negotiate a ceasefire. "I've been doing a lot of thinking." I nodded. I always nodded first. "I feel like I'm disappearing," he said carefully, "in this setup, with us." My stomach tightened, not in shock, but recognition. That sentence had been rehearsed. I need my own space to breathe, to figure out who I am without constantly being part of something. I asked the question everyone asks. Is there someone else? His eyes flashed, offended, almost angry. "This is exactly what I mean," he snapped. "You always jump to distrust. I just want autonomy." Autonomy, such a clean word, so bloodless. He assured me this wasn't a breakup, just a pause, a growth phase. We'd still be together, just not living together. "I found a one-bedroom loft downtown," he added casually. "Perfect light, space for my editing setup." I waited. "It's available next month," he continued. "So I figured it makes sense if you find somewhere else in the meantime. You can work remotely from anywhere. This place is kind of ideal for my gear." The audacity landed softly, which somehow made it worse. The apartment I'd lived in for 4 years, the walls I painted, the workstation I built from scratch. Suddenly, it was ideal, just not for me. I studied him, the man who hadn't paid a full half of rent in months, who sent smaller and smaller transfers with captions like "tight this month" or "big break coming soon." "All right," I said. He blinked. "Really? I want you to be happy." Relief bloomed across his face. He hugged me, tight, grateful, triumphant. He talked about how this would make us stronger, how he admired my maturity. That Saturday, I rented a moving truck. When Ryan came home from his videography seminar, which I later learned involved bottomless mimosas with friends celebrating his bravery, he stopped dead in the doorway. Half the apartment was empty. My monitors, my workstation, the living room TV, the console, the coffee machine, even the bath mat I bought on a whim one rainy afternoon. What are you doing?" he asked, voice thin. "You said you needed space," I replied, carrying the last box of my books. "I'm giving you all of it." "But I thought you'd stay until next month." I met his eyes. Why would I? His panic hadn't started yet, but it was coming, and I could already feel the distance stretching, not painfully, but cleanly, like a door closing without a slam. Ryan followed me all the way down to the curb, not beside me, behind me, like someone chasing a moving train, convinced if they just ran fast enough, it would slow down out of sympathy. "This is extreme, Elena," he said as I lifted the final box into the truck. "You're punishing me for being honest." I shut the truck door with more force than necessary. "No," I corrected calmly. "I'm respecting what you asked for." His jaw tightened. "You're twisting this." "You said you were suffocating," I replied. "I removed the source." He stared at the truck like it had personally betrayed him. "What about rent?" he asked finally. "It's due in 2 weeks." I paused, not because I hadn't thought about it, but because I wanted to be precise. "That's a conversation you'll need to have with the property manager." His eyes widened. "But you're on the lease." "For now." That was when the fear finally showed itself. "You can't just leave me with this," he said, voice rising. "I can't afford $2,400 on my own." I shrugged gently. Independence is expensive. That night, the messages began. "This is childish. You're punishing me for communicating. Healthy couples support each other's growth." I didn't respond. He wanted distance, so I gave him silence. Sunday morning, I returned to the apartment one last time. Not to argue, not to retrieve forgotten items, but to drop off my keys and officially terminate the lease. I agreed to cover the 2-month penalty. Clean exit, no leverage. The property manager smiled apologetically. "You're actually the 4th inquiry this week," he said. "We'll have no problem relisting at a higher rate." Ryan was there, eyes red, shoulders slumped, performing devastation for an audience of one. Please, he whispered, let's talk. We did, I replied evenly. You told me exactly what you needed. I didn't mean now, he said desperately. When someone says they can't breathe, I said, you don't ask them how long they'd like oxygen withheld. He looked at me like I'd slapped him. Where am I supposed to go? He demanded. I tilted my head. Wasn't there a loft downtown? His mouth opened, closed. It's not available until next month, he said weakly, and it's 1-800. That sounds like a problem, I said. Not a partnership. The utilities would shut off in 5 days. Everything was already transferred to my new place. Smaller, quieter, entirely mine. Monday, his mother called. Elena, sweetheart, she pleaded. Ryan is beside himself. Can't you be the bigger person? I already was, I replied calmly. I listened. But he doesn't have anywhere to stay. He wanted independence, I said. That includes independence from my housing and my finances. Her tone hardened. That's cruel. No, I said, that's literal. Wednesday, a message from his best friend appeared. You're unbelievable. He's sleeping on my couch because of you. I archived it. Thursday, Ryan escalated. He showed up at my office. Security called me down to the lobby. He looked awful, unshaven, eyes glassy, desperation clinging to him like a second skin. Please, he said, grabbing my arm. You can't do this. You want a distance, I said quietly. Showing up at my workplace violates that. He laughed bitterly. You decided all of this. No, I replied. You did. I just didn't cushion the fall. The loft fell through. Someone else signed the lease. His savings were gone, spent on new camera equipment the month before. Equipment I'd quietly subsidized. What am I supposed to do? He snapped. I looked at him evenly. Use the traction you said was coming. That was when the online posts began. Long paragraphs, emotional language, carefully curated pain. Some men show their true colors when women ask for basic space. Friends tagged me, strangers judged me, half believed him, half didn't. I stayed silent. Because silence, too, is distance. And distance was what he asked for. 2 weeks passed. Long enough for the noise to fade into background static. Long enough for my new place to feel familiar. Smaller, yes, but calm. No camera equipment spilling into corners. No half-finished projects colonizing the dining table. No quiet resentment disguised as ambition. I slept better. Then Monday detonated my phone. Missed calls. Voicemails. Unknown numbers. His mother. His friends. Even his younger brother, whom I'd met exactly twice and barely remembered. One voicemail finally broke through the chaos. Elena, Ryan sobbed. Please, I need you to call me. This is serious. Against my better judgment, I did. Thank God, he gasped when I answered. I'm in trouble. Real trouble. What happened? I asked, already bracing myself. My checks bounced, he said. For the loft. Deposit and first month. Management thinks I committed fraud. I closed my eyes. They're threatening police involvement, he continued rapidly. My client payment was supposed to clear, but it's delayed. I owe $3,600 plus fees. They want it by tomorrow. Silence stretched between us. Elena, he whispered, please, I'll pay you back. I just need help right now. With what money? I asked softly. My work is taking off, he insisted. You don't have to be sarcastic. I'm panicking. You asked for autonomy, I said. This is what it sounds like. I could go to jail, he snapped. Is that what you want? No, I replied honestly. I want you to solve your own crisis. You're doing this on purpose, he accused. You want me to fail. No, I said. I wanted you to succeed without me. He went quiet. Then came the flood. Calls from his mother, escalating from concern to hysteria. Voicemails about real women standing by their men. His brother texted, help him. He's family. Ryan posted again. This time angrier, less poetic. Then, a message from a number I didn't recognize. Elena, this is Mark. I'm Ryan's friend. Friend. Ryan's really struggling, Mark said when I answered. He's not okay. Can't you just spot him until he's back on his feet? Why aren't you? I asked. A pause. Well, it's not like that. Not like what? I pressed. Silence thickened. Then I remembered. 2 weeks earlier, Ryan's Instagram story, quickly deleted. A reflection in a cafe window. A woman's laugh off camera. The same woman he'd once sworn was just his ex. You mean his ex-girlfriend Maya? I asked. Mark inhaled sharply. I figured, I continued. The videography seminar wasn't a seminar. It was brunch. With her. More silence. She told me they were done, Mark said weakly. I'm sure she did, I replied, until reality showed up. He hung up without another word. Friday morning, Ryan appeared at my door. My new door. I still don't know how he found the address. He looked hollow, hair greasy, eyes swollen, wearing the same clothes from days earlier. 5 minutes, he begged. 2, I said. I messed up, he whispered. I see that now. Maya meant nothing, he rushed. It was just validation, an ego thing. You ended our life for validation, I said quietly. I was scared, he said. We were intense. I'd never lived alone. I thought I needed to experience it, but I thought you'd be here when I came back. I stared at him. You wanted me as a safety net. No, he insisted. I wanted you waiting. For what? I asked. To fund your self-discovery? He flinched. I love you, he said desperately. You loved what I provided, I corrected. Stability, rent, safety, while you played at independence. That's unfair. You called me suffocating, I said, publicly. You let people believe I was controlling. And when I stepped away exactly as you asked, you called that cruelty too. Tears streamed down his face. Please, he whispered, anything. I opened the door wider. Leave. He sobbed openly now, loud, uncontained. I waited. When he finally stepped back, I closed the door. Gently, deliberately. Final. 3 months have passed since I closed that door. Not slammed it, not locked it in anger, just closed it. The way you do when a chapter has already ended and you're only catching up. The first month afterward was harder than I expected. Not because I missed Ryan, but because he scorched the earth on his way out. He told a story online, a careful one, about a woman who abandoned him during a period of self-growth, about emotional control disguised as financial responsibility, about how asking for space revealed my true nature. His friends amplified it, especially Maya. Long Instagram stories, screenshots without context, phrases like coercive stability and financial dominance. I said nothing, because arguing with a performance only feeds the spotlight. The truth arrived anyway, slowly, clumsily, the way truth usually does. Once Ryan was officially single, broke, and no longer useful as a fantasy project, Maya disappeared. 2 weeks. No goodbye, no futon, no encouragement. Someone, not me, leaked texts in the comments of one of her posts. Ryan begging her for a place to stay. Her declining, citing, not ready for that level of responsibility. The same woman he'd risked everything for wouldn't offer him a couch. The narrative shifted overnight. Ryan moved back in with his parents. His father, furious over the bounced checks and near fraud charges, demanded accountability. No more freelancing. No more dreams funded by someone else's labor. Ryan took a full-time retail job at an electronics store, selling the same equipment he once insisted would make him a visionary. His Instagram changed. No more creator grind. No more independence era. Just silence. Maya and Ryan stopped following each other a month later. I heard from a mutual that she'd loaned him $800 during the chaos, money he couldn't repay. When she demanded it back, he accused her of kicking him while he was down. They ended badly. 2 months after that, his mother emailed me. Subject line, you won. Short, bitter. She wrote that Ryan cried most nights, that he'd lost everything because I couldn't forgive one mistake. I replied once. He didn't lose everything because I refused to catch him. He lost it because he jumped assuming I would. No response after that. Last week, I ran into Ryan at Whole Foods. He wore his store uniform. He was buying discount wine, the kind he once mocked. Our eyes met. For a second, he looked like he wanted to speak. I nodded politely and walked on. Peace is not cruelty. 2 days ago, his brother messaged me. Not to beg, not to accuse. To thank me. Ryan had finally admitted the truth. The emotional affair. The assumption that I'd finance his break. The belief that autonomy was something you performed while someone else absorbed the cost. He's learning, his brother wrote. Late, but for real. I closed the message and sat with that. Am I happy? No. There's no joy in watching someone you loved collapse under the weight of their own entitlement. But I am peaceful. Ryan wanted independence with a safety net. Freedom without consequence. An aesthetic of autonomy, not the reality. I didn't punish him. I didn't abandon him. I simply stopped protecting him from the invoices of his own choices. That wasn't revenge. That was reality. And reality, unlike fantasy, never agrees to be subsidized.